You must have heard that it's never about the numbers, it's about the story behind those numbers. Well, to showcase this story, all finance professionals are using various charts and graphs, making the numbers presentable and easy to understand. In this video, we are going to learn 5 types of chart that will help you present your data of financial model in an insightful and professional format. So hello there, my name is Karan Damania. I am an ex-investment banker turned founder, and through encoding careers, we help you build successful career in finance. Let's get onto the screen and start building this charts. Alright, so this is the sheet that we are going to use to learn all the 5 type of charts. So first let us overview what are the things that we are going to learn. Number one is bar graph plus line. So this is a combo chart where we are going to learn using this example. Next we are going to learn this pie chart and a stacked bar graph where you are using this data. Next we have waterfall chart to understand the PNL distribution, and finally we are going to do a football field analysis to plot in the data of different types of valuation. Let us first start with bar graph plus line. Here we have this data which we are going to use to plot and create this kind of layout. We are going to do this side by side so that we have this for reference and we can create the same as we go through it. You can download this entire template from link in the description below so that you can also practice once you understand how you can go about and plot the data. The first chart that we are looking over here is combination of two things. It has bar graphs which are the representation of the profit after tax. When we click on any of the element in the chart, we can see what is the data used over here, and we also have a table in the chart which is showcasing what is the data that each of the bar graph represents. Here all the months of a year are used, plot in the profit after tax that is earned for that particular month. So we have the profitability in lakh over here, which is the whole number, and we have profitability that is converted into 2 digit, dividing each of the above number by lakh. Alongside that we have the profitability percentage over here, which is represented by this line chart. So when I click on the line chart, it represents what is the data used. So this entire data of line is represented by this percentages, which is on the right hand side, and on the left hand side all the bar graph have their axis. So here we have amount in lakhs, and each is ranging from minus 30 lakhs to maximum 30 lakhs. So we can see that minimum profit is minus 20 lakh and maximum it is going up to 22 lakh, which is in last month. So that way 30 to minus 30 range is used. So let's get started by plotting this data. Initially we will have to select the two elements which we want to plot into this combo chart. So first we are going to select the profit after tax, which is converted into 2 digit. We don't want that the table in the chart below should have huge numbers which becomes difficult for us to present in a simple format, and having a 2 digit number will give easy overview to understand what is happening in the business. Let's select the first data item. So we are going to select profit after tax in lakh, and alongside that we are going to select this net profitability. Now after selecting the data that we want to plot, we are going to go into insert. Then we are going to go to this bar chart, insert column or bar chart, and then here we are going to select more column chart. Now when we select more column charts, we have the final element of combo chart. Here when we select combo, we want to come to this second item. This is the first with where both of them are plugged into single type, but we want it to have two axes, that is axis on the left hand side and on the right hand side. So here we can see that it has numbers, that is all the revenue, profit after tax on the left hand side, and all the percentages on the right hand side. So this is perfect for us, and we are going to press OK, and this will plot the chart in the Excel sheet that we are using. Now everything that goes next is to make it very presentable and very professional to look at. The data is same in this chart as well as this chart, but it is more good to look at this chart when it is presented in a structured presentation rather than looking at this direct chart. We should have skills to present this data in proper format which looks good to eyes. That is a duty of finance professional whenever they are working on something. The main thing is how you present things, right? A finance professional will know what the numbers are meaning, but you have to explain it to people who are not from finance. This kind of good presentation will help others understand of what is happening, what is the storyline behind the numbers. Let's get started on this chart. So first we are going to change the title of this chart. We want this entire chart to be in Calibri because that is the font that everyone in the finance industry uses. So we will go to home tab, and then from this Aptos narrow we will change this to Calibri. Perfect. So everything is changed into Calibri, and the font is also very blur. We want this to be black in color, so we are going to change now. What we did earlier was that we clicked on this entire chart and then we changed it to Calibri, and similarly we will change this to black color from the light gray that we can currently see. First, we will give the chart name, that is profitability overview. So looking at this chart, we can understand that the profitability of a company is given over here for each and every month. That is how much profit it has earned. And looking at red bar graph, we can see that in that month it has done a loss, and in green bar graph we can understand that it was profit. So that is how we want to convert this chart as well. Over here, as we now give name, we want to reduce the size of this from 14 to let's say 12, and let's reduce it to 11. Perfect. And we will bold this. All right, the first step is completed. Now we need to remove all the grid lines. So we will go into chart, and when I press on the grid lines, this kind of circle pops up on all the grid lines, and we will press delete, and that way all the grid lines of the chart will be deleted. Okay, here as we have the data plotted already, we now want to adjust the range or the axis value. So we will click on the axis value once, and all the four dots pop up, and then we will double tap on it, and that will open the format axis tab on the right hand side. Over here we can change the number range that we want to keep in this axis. As of now, from default we have 25 to -25. We want this -30, that way it aligns itself, and the gap between each and every point is decided by this major element, which is 10. So 30 minus 20 will be 10, and everything will have a 10-point gap. So if you want to change that, we can change that as well. Now that we have this range aligned, we want a line to be included besides the range. We will go into this bucket icon, and from there we will select line. Now over here the color of the line is white. By default we will select this to very dark gray, and the transparency should remain 0%, and the width is 0.75. That is perfect. So we can see that we have a line attached to this entire axis. Next we will select the second range, and we will change this from 40% to -40 to 45. So once again clicking on the second axis, then double tap on it, it opens up this format axis tab. Now minimum is -45 and maximum will be +45. Here we want the gap to be 15% between each of the points. So this will be 0.15, and I press enter. Okay. So that way we can see that the entire axis has changed, but we want line once again similar to the right hand side. So we will tap on it once again, double tap, go to this bucket icon. In the line we will go to color and change this to dark gray. Okay, so that way this has changed, and perfect. So this now matches the reference chart that we have created. Now coming to the plottings. First we will remove this entire numbers that we have on the in the center, and we will press delete. That way it deletes the entire center axis, and we have all the data very cleanly plotted into this chart. All right, so we will start coloring all the bar graphs. For all the negative we will give it red, and for all the positives we have green color. So when we press one time it selects all the bar graphs. When we press second time it will select that particular bar on which you have tapped. So when you press the second time, go to home tab, and then here from the fill color tab, press open up and give red color to it. Alright, so when you first time selected this, selected the entire bar graphs. Now when you pressed second time, it selected only one. Now when you move to the second one and you press one time, it will select that particular bar graph. Once again we will give bucket red color to this. Now third one is also negative, so once again this will also be red. As we can see that March is also negative, then we have May, so this is easily understandable. This is also negative, which is August, and all the rest are green. So we will come to this chart, green color from here, this will also be green. Now we have completed plotting of the colors in the entire chart. The difference we can see that this all bar graph have a border kind of thing, which is making it more attractive and good to look at. So we will select once again all the bar graph. So we double tap on this entire bar graph, then we go to bucket sign once again, and here instead of fill we will go to border. Now the border is currently automatic and white color, we will give the solid line, and the color that we will select is black. All right, and then enter. Perfect. So now we can see that we have a border to this. We can see that there is an excess title over here which is mentioning amounts in lakh. So we will shorten this a bit to the right hand side. We will click on the plus sign and then add a excess title. So over here we don't want this excess title. We don't want this excess title. We only want excess title on the left hand side. Here we are going to change this to amount in lakhs, and when we want to keep this into italic, so from home tab we will keep it italic. Also we are going to reduce the size a bit, so from 10 we will reduce it to 8. All right, so we can see that it is matching what we have over here. We can see that the range over here is gap of 15 and we have 10, so we are going to change that to 15. So 10 to 15. All right, so now this is matching the same. The next element is to change the line that we have in between, which is representing all the net profitability for the each bar graph. So we will directly double tap on the line and that activates the format data series. So we will go into bucket tab once again. Here the color that we have selected is with dark blue, and the width of this entire line is 2.25 as of now, but we want to reduce this. So this will be 1.5, and when we check this, so this is 1.25, so we will change this to 1.25. We want this circle markers at every bar graph, so we are going to go into marker. Then currently the marker option which is none, but we want to keep a circle thing, so we are going to select build in, and from there we are going to select this circle, and the color of this is going to be light blue, and the border that we are going to give will be solid line of dark blue color. Okay, so here we can see that this is same matching the reference chart that we have. The thing that we are now left with is to give the table below this entire thing. So we don't want this profit after tax and net profitability thing to be mentioned. So we will remove this. Instead of that, we will add a data table. So from this plus button, when we click on data table, a table is added in the bottom, which already has this net profitability and profit after tax written over there. We can see that alignment of this entire chart has changed a bit. For that we need to arrange the table properly. So we will select the table. Now to select the table that we have added, click on that, go to home button, change the size of the font. So this was currently at 9, we changed it to 8, and now the table looks a bit. So we will reduce the size of the chart a bit. All right, so when we change this, it gets properly aligned. Perfect. We can see that everything is now properly aligned. We have border for this entire chart, which we will remove this. So double tap on the chart, this opens up. Then there is this entire fill, so we are going to give no fill, and then border, so no line. Perfect. Now if we click anywhere on the sheet, the border is removed. When we look at the reference chart, we can see that the table does not have the entire borders. So going back to our table, we will select borders, and in borders we are going to give it gradient lines. So here the gradient is as default, which is already selected, and no need to change that. It is blue and some colors. If you want to change it, you can change it, but this blue looks very professional. Now we can see that it does not have a top border, and when we go into this table, we can see that all the three are selected: horizontal, vertical, and outline. We want to remove this outline so that it does not have a top border. Now finally we can see that the bar graph size is bit thin on the chart that we have created, and it's bit thicker on the reference chart. So to change that, double click once again on the bar graph, and here you can see gap width, which is 188 percentage. If we reduce this, then the bar size will increase. So if I reduce this to, let's assume, if I reduce this to 150, then we can see that the bar graph size has increased. If you want to see the real effect, if I change this to 100, then we can see that the chart bar graph has increased a lot in size, which does not look good. So we will keep this to 150 percentage, and that way this is now entirely representing the same chart that we have created as a reference. That was about the first combo chart, which included bar graph and line chart. Over here we have two types of chart that we are going to create. One is pie chart and one is stacked bar. Let's start with the first one, which is pie chart. Here we are going to use this data, which includes product category on left hand side and how much share does each of the product category contribute to the revenue. So under looking at the pie chart, a investor or a client or your company people will understand when you earned 100 rupees of revenue in the company, how much was distributed by each of the categories. So this is a business which is into skincare, wellness, and all the products, where they have pain care as a category, they have extract oil, they have skin and hair care products, they have other categories. So mostly was contributed by 60% pain care, and that is represented in the pie chart. So it becomes very easy to understand looking at a pie chart the distribution between various categories. And similarly, in the stacked bar that we have over here, we can understand in just a simple straight distribution. This is a circular format, this is a rectangular format that we have, that pain care is contributing the major portion out of this 100%, and then we have extract at 12, skincare at 18, and other categories at 10. That is how you present the data among various categories, or you could have different revenue streams which can be distributed using this two types of chart. So let's now start creating this pie chart. First we need to select this entire table over here, then move to insert. Then here we can see the third element of this entire charting, which is a circular insert pie or donut type donut chart. Here we are going to select 3D pie. We will move this stack chart below. When we complete pie chart, we will move to this stack bar graph. Alright, so we are going to paste this over here. We are going to increase the size a bit. Now we want this to look a bit of a 3D type. As we can see that this chart has a bit of shade below that, and there is a shine. It is not looking very edgy like this one. To select this type of chart, go to this design. Here we have the style 8, which will give this kind of format. As we can see that this now has a shine, a shade below that, which looks good to eyes. Alright, so that way a chart has been plotted. Now we need to just format it. First we will start with the header of the chart, which is product categories. Now the main thing that we need to do is change this font style to Calibri, and the font color will be black, and the font size we can adjust as per our requirement. So product categories, we will change this size to 12. That way we have product categories done. The title of the chart is done. We will adjust the size similar to this reference one. Alright, so this looks similar. We have category name assigned to each of the pie division, but we can see that in the reference chart we have number assigned to it. So to give that number, we will come to all the categories. We will double tap on it, and this opens the data labels formatting. Here we will give this value. Now when we add values, all the values are assigned to each of the pie. So we will press cancel to this, and that way all the values are assigned. But we can see that each category name is written in the top, and then a percentage is given below that. So to change that, we have to do that manually. We will have to go to each of the category name and double press on it, so that way it activates the category name. Then we are going to remove this comma and press enter. So that way skin and hair care category comes up and a percentage is assigned below that. Similarly, we will complete for every category name. So double tap, we will remove and press enter. In extract oil as well, so double tap, we will remove comma and enter. And finally for pain care, remove comma and enter. If you want to change this placement of this category, we can select this, and that way we can drag it anywhere. So based upon our requirement, we can change the category names as we want. All right, so that way we have this similar categories assigned to the entire pie. And now the only thing remaining is to change the color of pie chart. So we will click on the pie, and that way first the entire pie chart is selected. Then whatever part we want to select. So if I want to select the pain care part, I will once again click on that. So we can see that the dots that we have, the three dots, this indicates that this part is selected. We will go to home tab, and whatever color we want to give, we will assign to that. So we have this color. Then we come to other categories. So tapping on that, we can see that this part is selected, and over here we have this color. In the extract oil, the same color is selected, and skin and hair care is the same color. All right, so we have completed the entire internal part. Only thing remaining is to edit the borders of the entire chart. So we will double tap on this, and this activates the format chart area. And in the border, we want no line. So removing that and pressing cancel. Perfect. So both the chart now look similar, and in fact the same, and we have completed pie chart plotting of the data which we are using. Next chart type is of stacked bar, where we have a single bar representing various categories. So here also we will similarly select the entire table. We will go into insert. Then we are now going to select this bar graph column or bar chart, and here we need to go to more columns, and in more columns we have this various type of bar chart that we can select. In the second one we have stack columns, and in the stack column we need to select the second one and press OK. So we now have a stack column chart with us, which represents the data in the table. So we have all the percentage share, and we have all the categories over here. All right, now it's time to format. So we will increase the size a bit, and we will shorten the width so that it is similar to what we want. First we will start with changing the font style to Calibri, and font color to black, font size to 9. In fact, we will change size whenever we want. So this, changing the title, this is product category. This we will shift to left hand side. This is bold, and the size is 14. Perfect. We don't want any grid lines on the entire stack bar, so we will select the grid lines. That way we can see that all the grid lines are activated by this circle thing, and we will press delete, so that deletes all the grid lines. We only want the bar to go up to 100%, so we will select this entire axis, double tap on it. Then this has not, this is selected the chart area. We will select the format axis, go into this column button, and in the axis option, from the maximum range remove 1.2 to 1.0, and that way it has now changed to 100%. Alongside that, we can see that we have a line over here. So we will go to this bucket, and from there we are going to add this line. The color for that is currently white. We will select a dark gray, and a line is added. Perfect. We can see that this reference chart does not have legend over here. So we will select this legend and delete it from our chart. Now the chart size is bit more than the reference one. So we are going to reduce that. All right, this looks perfect. This horizontal axis has a shade of dark gray to it, and currently it is looking a bit lighter. So we are going to select this horizontal axis. Coming back to line, over here we are going to select dark gray, and this is also italic, so changing it to italic. Perfect. Now this looks as the reference chart. The only thing is to add all the data labels and remove the borders. So first we will remove the borders, no line, and now it's time to add category and percentage to it. So from plus button we can add data labels. Data labels, we have option to keep this into center. Data label will be center of that particular chart. It can be inside end, it can be inside base, it can be data call out, or more options. So in more options we don't have anything that takes the data out, so that we have to do it manually then. So we will plug in the data out by selecting each one and taking the data outside. So you have to double tap on it. So first time, second time we'll select that particular range, and then you have to take it out. All right, so that way we have the percentages with us, but we don't have the category name. Now to add category name to that, we will go to data labels once again and more options. Now in data labels, we will go to this label options, and in label options, we want to add the series name. So series name, this is 10% other categories. We will do this to each one. So a category name, no, so this is series name. So we'll remove category name. This is series name, and this is also series name. All right, so all the series name are added. Now we need to align each of them. So this looks a bit clustered. So for that, we will have to increase the chart size a bit, and then we will increase this. Don't worry about this bar chart size increasing. We will reduce that. But first, we will adjust all the category and data labels. So here this can be a tricky part because we need to adjust everything and everything should fit in. So skin and hair care is 18 percentage. All right, so you can reduce the size a bit, and that way it will be easier to adjust. So we are reducing the size from 10 to 8, and that way this entire thing can be now adjusted easily. All right, so now we have everything adjusted with us, and only thing left is to color the entire bar graph. So we are going to select, when we tap on this, we can go to this and select the color we want, and that way, depending upon your requirement, you can color this entire. Perfect. Now we have entire bar graph matching to our reference chart. Only thing pending is to give color to this leader line where it is currently light gray. We will change this to black. Each of them will be black. Okay, so that way we have completed this entire bar graph as well. Next, we will move to this waterfall chart to understand how P&L statements can be plotted. Now, waterfall chart is very important to understand when you are working with financial statement, because it helps you understand where the money is coming from, where the money is being spent, and what is remaining. So looking at the current chart that we have as our reference, we can see that it has plotted this entire statement of profit and loss. The revenue and other income is in blue color, then all the expenses of COGS expenses, marketing are in red color, and net profit is in green color. Now plotting that using waterfall chart, it becomes very easy to understand on what portion of the entire expense is the highest, how much profit are we earning, what is the profitability compared to our revenue. So taking a look at this, we can see that revenue and other income is increasing when we are plotting this waterfall chart, but when we plot in these expenses, it is getting reduced, so it is showcased in red color. So revenue and other income is blue, and then when COGS is plotted, it is reducing the balance. Then once again expenses, other expenses are reducing the revenue more, and then finally we have marketing element. So we can see that the out of this entire revenue, this was the expense portion, and we are finally left with net profit of 4,50,000 out of this entire 10,50,000 earned as revenue. And that becomes very easy for client or investor or anyone in the company looking at financials to understand number, what are the numbers over here trying to say. So we can easily, so one can easily understand that this was the revenue, then this was, this were the various brackets where we spent money, out of which the COGS was the highest element, because we can see that the size of the bar is very much bigger than other two expenses. And finally we were left with 4,50,000 of profit. When we compare it to revenue, we can see that a significant portion of revenue is converted to profit. So that way you can understand that where you need to focus and improve your line item. That is how waterfall charts are used. Now let's get started with plotting this entire waterfall. First, we will select entire data that we have over here, starting from category to entire amount, and we will go into insert. Now in insert, we have done with this bar chart, we have used this line, we have used this pie. Now we need to move to insert waterfall funnel or stock funnels. Here we will come to waterfall. All right, so here the data is plotted. Now we need to format it. Before starting to format the data, make sure that whenever you are plotting PNL, in the end, the last line item will be the remaining amount, and it should not be reducing or increasing the balance. It should be the remainder. What waterfall chart does is, whenever you plot a positive number, it increases. and whenever you plot a negative number, it decreases the balance. But we want that profit should be as a remainder and it should not increase the balance. But when we see that in the chart that is plotted, the profit is increasing the balance, we need to now set this to a remainder balance. So we will come to the chart, we will tap on it, we will select this, and this will be set as total. Now when you set as total, it is remainder of this 2 minus this 3. So that way profitability is 4,50,000 and it moves as a remainder of the entire waterfall chart. Now we can move ahead and format the entire chart, starting with formatting the font style to Calibri. Then font size will be adjusted as we want and font color will be black, so black for entire chart. We will remove this entire legend from the chart. The chart title is P and L waterfall. The size of the title will also be a bit small and we are going to underline that. No, this did this created for entire, we only want the title size to be smaller. All right, so this is 12 and underline. Now we will change the axis, so this will also be smaller in size, and we have a line attached to it. So we will go to the format axis, bucket sign, and we will select line as dark gray. All right, and we have a dark gray line in the bottom as well. So we have this horizontal axis, line, automatic, and dark gray. Perfect. So that way two lines are added. We don't want the grid lines in between, so we are going to remove all the grid lines. So when we tap on any of the grid lines, it gets activated and we are going to delete that. We also don't want this lines in between that are connecting all the waterfall bar graphs. So if you want that as a reference you can keep, but I find it distracting and it does not look on the good on the chart, so we will remove that. Oops. So here we need to select the chart. We will go to this column button and here we have show connector line. So we are going to remove that. All right. So that way that is removed. Now we need to reduce the size of the data labels, which we can do it from home tab, reduce to 8, and this is also reduced to this we can keep. Yeah, this can be reduced to 8 or 9, whatever we want. It is getting adjusted, so it's not a problem. And now the only thing remaining is to color the entire bar graph. So this will be colored as dark blue, this is also dark blue, this is red, this is also red, this is red, and this is green. Perfect. All right, so that way the entire waterfall chart is created and we will finalize it by removing the borders of the chart. So no borders, no fill, and done. So that way the entire PNL is plotted into waterfall and becomes easy to understand of what the numbers are trying to portray. All right, so final chart that we have for today is football field chart, where we are plotting different valuation methods that a investment bank or venture capital uses to value a company. So whenever a valuation method is used, a range of valuation is calculated. It is not that you will get exact a number of what is the valuation for a company, but you create it using various sensitivity analysis which gives you a range, and that is the range that we want to use while creating a football field. Over here, for creating football field you will need data for each of the type of valuation. So here we have used comps, we have the DCA valuation, we have transaction comparables, and we have 52-week high low if the company that you are valuing trades on a particular stock exchange and has a stock price. So for that stock price you will have a 52-week high and 52-week low. Now whenever you are plotting this data and creating a table of the range, make sure that you have two low columns and two high columns, because this we are doing plotting of the football field using a candlestick pattern, and for candlestick you need open, close, high, and low, and that way Excel will treat your data in the similar manner. So you need to plot open low, low, open high, high. So for the first three, this will be lower side of the valuation range and this will be the higher side of valuation range. So here we have this entire numbers in crore. So this open low is 340 crores of valuation that we got from comparables. In DCF we got 320.6 crores. In transaction we have 300 crores of valuation. So this is market cap that we have taken, right? This is not the stock price, because whenever you calculate valuation you get entire equity value. But what you can also do is, when you want to do per share basis, you will divide the entire equity value that you got by the numbers of share. So that way you will get per share equity value, and then you can plot that as well. Now let's start with plotting the entire data and create a football field. We need to select this data and then move to insert tab. Here, similar to where we created waterfall, we need to go to stock and then select this open, high, low, close. Now many of you will face this kind of problem where this data that is plotted in this chart is only the first row that you selected. That is, this 340 is plotted and then 440 is plotted over here. Now this is the problem where the chart that you are plotting is considering that you are having data in this manner, that is open, high, low, close. That is why the chart plotted is not coming out right. What you need to do in this case is take all the data from here, copy this, and we need to paste in a transpose manner. Now in while you transpose the data, whatever column you had will become the row, and whatever row you had will become the column. So we have the second table over here. We will press alt E S, which will open up the paste special, and here we have transpose. So when we click on transpose and OK, so we can see that 340, 340, 440, 440, this was row initially, now this became column, and which was column, so 340, 320, this became the row, 350 last, 350 last. Now what we need to keep in mind is that now all the valuation ranges have moved up. So here we are transposing this as well, and this has moved down. So this is to be transferred. All right, now we will select the data from this entire table. We will move to insert. Once again, go to this chart and stock. Okay, now we can see that the data is plotted properly, and we can see proper columns similar to this. Here what we need to do now is to just format the entire thing and make it presentable. The first thing that we are going to do is change the entire layout by clicking on the font style. This is Calibri, this is black in color, and we will change the font size as we need. So we are going to copy this entire title and paste it over here. So this is valuation summary football field analysis. Then we are going to reduce the size by 14 to, let's say, 11. That looks perfect. Then we are going to change the entire axis range as well. We can see that the entire chart is plotted on the higher side. We don't want 0 up to 200, because this looks very empty and is not of use for us. So we will start with 150 and take it up to 550. So this entire range axis option, so this will be minimum 150 to maximum, let's say, 550, because we have highest one as 480. So 550 will be good margin for us, and then we can give the gap between each element on the axis as 100 currently, which was 50. Now we have ready range with us. We want a line to it, so we will give it a dark gray. Here we want the 1 2 3 4 to change to all the valuation types that we have. So here we will right click on this, we will select data, and from this we will press edit, and we will select all these names, and that way press OK. So this we can see that this is comps ranging from 340 to 440, then this DCF is 320 to 480, and that way both the other two are also plotted. Now we need to remove the grid lines that we have. So selecting the grid lines, we remove that. All the names of valuation method, here we want a line, so this will be dark gray, and we are going to remove the border of chart as well. So from chart area, no lines, and that way the entire chart is now plotted properly, and we need to now give color to it. So to give color, we already saw in the previous charts of how we do it. Here you cannot give individual color to any of the bar charts. So when you press once, you activate all the bar graph, and then go to home tab. We are having a dark blue color that will give color to these entire bars. And now we need to plug in the range of valuation. So in the bar graph, when you click on the top middle, you will have this activated, and that will be indicating the high range of the entire valuation. Here click plus button and then add labels. As we add labels, this is added to the right hand side. We will click the right arrow and we will click on more options. So currently the label position is on right hand side, we want it above. Perfect. So now it is added above. Similarly, we are going to click on the bottom of the entire bar, and that will showcase the low of entire valuation range. Similarly, click on plus, go to data labels, click click the data labels. Now it has activated on the right hand side. So we will go into more options, and in the more options on the column tab, you have in the right, but now we want it in the below, and that way now we have the entire range with us, but we want it to have a rupee sign so that we can understand that this is the valuation range with amount rupee. We are going to click on the data label once again, and in the label option we have this number column. Now in the number column, the category currently is general, and we will change this to currency. All right, so we have this currency with 2 decimal. If we want to remove decimal, we can remove, or if we want to keep, then that is also fine. Similarly, we will do it for the bottom range currency. That way the currency is now set. We will reduce the size of range a bit, so from 9 we can reduce it to 8, and that way this looks perfect. All right, so final thing that we have pending in this entire chart is to plot a line which represent the current value of the company. If you have taken the equity value, then the line that you showcase will represent the current equity value. If you have taken the share price, then line will showcase the share price of the company. So to insert a line, we will go to insert tab. Then in the insert we have this shapes, and in shapes this second one is a line. As we can see that this price is around 360, so we will keep the plus icon at 360, then press shift, and then when you press shift, the line gets straightly aligned, and it does not have a diversion into it. So the entire angle is 90 degree. We want line to have dashes, and the color should be also yellow. And in the shape format, we can see that the shape outline here, we want it to be, we could say, orange in color. And in the shape style, we have this different types that we want to keep line. This is not exactly orange, so this is yellow. Perfect. This is not yellow as well. This is, I guess, yeah, this looks the same. So you can reduce the size by pressing shift, and that way you reduce the size. All right, so that way your entire football field analysis is created with the current price and plotting of different valuation techniques that you have used, and that way all the 5 charts are completed, and we have understood how and when you can use each of them. Hope now you know what type of chart is used when and how you need to present it. If you're someone new to Excel and want to learn the basic and advanced formulas, then these are the videos that will help you the most. So that is it for this video. See you in the next one. Until then, this is Karan Damania taking your leave.